allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Person wey dey do evil no wan make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin, dey the street, dey hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary, diary politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Maiyegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Maiyegun.
Today. Hello there. So good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Maiyegun. And as it is breakfast in America, it is lunch time here in the UK and also in Nigeria and so many other places in this part of the hemisphere. So thank you so much for joining me. Now, as we normally do, right? Read beyond the caption of the broadcast, then share it. That is after you must have liked it, right? Then you can sit back and relax. Also, remember the brunch time with Maiyegun on this chosen topic, right? It's like going to be like series, right? Where we would continue to knock it into the head, right, of this stubborn, divisive, evil, group of people who have been leveraging on the differences, our differences, to weaponize our differences, right? In such never seen before states, right? So we need to keep shining light on it. Because somehow, in case if you don't know, there is always these tiny bits of this bigotry. It doesn't matter where you come from in Nigeria, by the way. There's this tiny bit of bigotry that's indeed implanted in many of us. But some will tell you that education, exposure actually helped them to undo such, kind of like, hateful thoughts towards other people because they are different. You are different. So then the supremacy comes in. Currently in Nigeria, in a place where you have over 500, tribes with over 500 languages as well, right? We're supposed to be coexisting peacefully, and that should come from, like an understanding, like respect for one another. That is the only reason why you can live together. But Nigeria is a place where you see communal clashes, for example, right? Happens all the time between people, right, that have been coexisting for centuries, historically, right? And these differences, right, that's the highest, right, where people actually like had to clash over land and all of that stuff in that place. Others, they are just innuendos, lies built by different tribes and ethnic nationalities in that place, right? From one generation to another generation. And this exists within the space called Nigeria. We can begin to pick one after the other and say, the Ishekiri versus the Ijos, Yorubos versus, the Anans, this versus that. And recently, the recent one where they have actually like weaponized is that of the Yoruba, Igbos, Hausas, and Fulanis, and on like that. So you get to see areas where these happenings, these divisive, violent happenings, right, where they are happening, they are mostly politically sponsored. But politics of now didn't actually give birth to them, okay? So it's always been there, but somehow suppressed. So education and exposure, some have said, helped them to understand to understand the differences, to understand the complexity of it, and at the same time to learn, right, to protect what is yours, which is kind of like not a bad idea, right? But like I said, it's always been there. It's always been there. And every now and then, criminal politicians in Nigeria always appeal to this bigotry in every tribe and ethnic nationality in that place. But like I said again, it is not so pronounced until now, especially when Tifnubu and his gang, who have been playing their dirty, divisive, bad blood kind of like a politics for a while. It is actually what sustained them this much. It's just that it has never really been promoted to the national level, like you are currently witnessing, where a group of miscreants, online trolls, both home and in the diaspora, have been pushing some deadly, hateful, divisive rhetorics. Now, this is not just about against other tribes or other ethnic nationality now. And this is where I kind of want your attention clearly, okay? We call these guys the Ronukus, those ones who pretend to be pro-Yoruba, but they are complete anti-Yoruba elements. They won't agree, of course, they won't. So they are pro-Tifnumbu, and over time, they have sort of like promoted Tifnumbu to the level of putting him side by side, side by side the whole race, in which, to them, right, following Tifnumbu and his criminal politics is actually a loyalty to Yoruba land, when it is not. Now, because they have positioned Tifnumbu in that light, so they have continued to either blackmail or gaslight any Yoruba and every Yoruba that speaks against this Tifnumbu. And to those of you who are not Yorubas, okay, this is how you are going to understand, the background of this whole thing, so that the bigotry in you, which of course exists, and somehow the actions of these mofos sort of triggered the bigotry in some of you, and therefore you decided to paint the entire Yoruba people with one single brush. And don't forget, like, I am talking about those of you who are non-Yorubas, whatever it is that you probably are reacting to, right, in your own bigotry, because it is there, right? You can easily just blame it on the Ronukus, but do not forget that, number one, they do not represent the Yorubas or represent the Yoruba interest. Their actions, their outbursts, their hypocrisies will tell you all, will give you all of that answer. But that is not the stage where we are at right now, because the damages they have done is even so massive. So put it this way, if you are a non-Yoruba, you are likely going to go back to the days where we used to banter, say things about ourselves, most of them even during our childhood and all of that growing up, that we never really counted for anything on all sides, right? Until now. Because when you look at the Ronukus and their actions, to make you see clearly that they have nothing to do with the Yorubas per se, it is all about this Tifnubu and this hateful, divisive, backward kind of politics. So to show to you that their level of inferiority, which is what they are promoting, because that's what I see. When you are trying to prove to people and say, oh, you are this, right? It's like when they say, oh, I am very rich. Said rich people will say they are rich. People will say that. They will say, no, if you see people who are actually rich, they won't tell you that they are rich. You will know that, they are rich. However, when you see the Ronukus, right, going after every Yorubas, which are in the majority, by the way. Now, when they go after the Yorubas who are outspoken, they have nothing to do with Tifnubu and this backward, corrupt way or criminal politics and all that, right? They call them Omoale. Do you understand? Like in Yoruba land, okay, when anyone, because you don't call anybody Omoale, like bastard, right? So in Yoruba land, when you call somebody a bastard, they will go home. I mean, back in the days, because you don't just call anybody bastard. And they will go back home and call their mom. ask, you need to show me who my father is, because so person said I am a bastard. So it's actually serious stuff. Now, it would make sense, all right, if the characters that are calling you bastards actually have parents themselves. Starting with Ifnumbu, who is their flagship, where have you, right? Nobody knows his father. Nobody knows his mom. He denied them. He disowned them and continued to push his adopted mom. So then you see these characters, right? In that same vein, okay? So they started picking from within the Yorubas, right? They started picking people who have dual parentage, meaning like, sorry, dual, like, background parenting, kind of like that. So yeah, you have your mom who is Yoruba. You have your dad who is Igbo, for example. So to these miscreants, these faceless trolls, right? You are not a Yoruba. Yeah, because of your mom. There's nothing like half. That's not all. If your dad is Yoruba and your mom is Igbo, because in Yoruba land it is culturally or traditionally believed or accepted that the father is actually the owner of a child. You get what I mean? Like the father owns the child. So the child will kind of like claim his or our paternal side more, right? For his or our own identity. So Yorubas welcome that. Do you understand? So they had to go into, apart from destroying our people's economic viability, the equitable distribution or redistribution of the wealth of the land, the prosperity of the land. No. Under them in the last 24 years, I mean now nearly 26 years, under them, right, Yoruba land has retrogressed so much, enough that we now share a massive chunk in their, the poverty chart in that place. Education has become a luxury. In Yoruba land, courtesy of these guys, our people have become easy prey in the hands of the Fulani terrorists, kidnapping them, collecting ransoms, and even killing them in Yoruba land. In the last 24 years, this is the legacy of those, right, who are kind of like in charge of the land, unfortunately. So when you now see the Ronokus who decided that this time around, they will go into the family, the family cycle, right? And decide to break that. That will be the last stroke that will break the camel's back, because it is also a record. I am using this part as a Yoruba person now, right? And like I said, that in every tribe, except if you are one of those who are living in denial, because you see, in every tribe, they will tell you, what does the other tribe think of you? Even though they are like neighbors, they share the same boundary, or they're like not far away from, from themselves. Even if they actually share the same tribal heritage as well, they will still tell you, you will tell me what it is like when your parents says you can't marry from that place, or you cannot befriend these people from this place. You cannot have these also people as your tenants, or you cannot spell to do this kind of, like all those, primitive nonsense. They actually exist. I mean, well established in that place, but mostly like in Oshtones and all of that. So I'm speaking as a Yoruba man now. The damage is done by these Ronokus, right? In the name of trying to protect the druggie. That is a Tiknumbu. All right. So we have people who have intermarried. Okay. Before this, their politics of criminality came in, and politics of division and all that became a thing. And then they are pushing all the narrative like you are a tainted blood or not, right? So we have had people who have successfully married or started a family, married themselves, started a family, and they are of different ethnic or tribal, even religious backgrounds. But because the APC, Egbekebe, they are master in the art of propaganda, misleading, misinformation and stuff like that, and weaponization of this same tribalism, or what do you call it? Yeah, ethnicism and what have you. They are professionals. They are like experts. So they've succeeded in making those of you who are like, who wants to prove that you are a true Igbo, or you are true Yoruba, or you are true this, or true that. I'm talking about like I'm the real Yoruba. I mean, I can't stand by and allow anybody to insult my tribe. That's exactly where they want you to be. They're putting you where they want you to be. And most of you have fallen for that because, of course, you've heard is on both sides. Now I'm using the Yorubas and the Igbos now, right? It's from both sides, right? So when you listen to the Yoruba bigots talking about the Igbos and saying horrible, horrible, horrible things, right? So as an Igbo person who sit there and listening, right there, something will start telling you that, man, I don't know why these Yorubas. Now, forgetting that you're actually just witnessing a miscreant, creating what most of them are paid to do, divisive rhetorics, right? And then right there, as an Igbo person, you're just like, I have to say something bad about them too. And then you jump into the fray. Oh, you, the Yorubas that are this, Yorubas that are that, Yoruba, started. And that means, the provocation is working. Now, while you are pushing yours out, another Yoruba person who is now reading yours, right, will automatically become probably like enraged too and start feeling like, I need to say something about these Igbos. Or maybe another tribe or ethnic nationality by name popped into the conversation and just drops and said, I want to say something. I need to go and say something about these Ijaw people, these ones who are like, so, and you see that market they have created, right, is what you call weaponization of, tribal, ethnic differences. You can be like subconsciously dragged into it, in which many of you have. I've had people on this platform who have called in, said, oh, people said so and so about us. I know. Because all of us are consuming all these, junks out there. And in that space where the toxicity is being pushed, right? You have created vast sort of like an empire for it. Like I said from the beginning, right? We all have this bigotry in us. But many people will tell you that exposure, traveling, education, and so many other things has helped them to overcome the level of bigotry that they themselves were fed over time, right? But we do have so many of you who have never even have any personal encounter with any other tribe that you have been made to despise so much. So on social media, right, you have this set who are calling out on, if they are not calling out on the Igbos must go. I've seen that in northern part of Nigeria too, where we have seen these, Hausas themselves telling their own stories, the stories of how they can no longer live with the Igbos. They can't sell their property, their lands to them anymore and all of that stuff. So the only place similarly in Igbo land too, you've had there where some unscrupulous elements who have given a ultimatum to the other tribes to say, you have to leave or else you will see what will happen. Now, this is the reality of Nigeria. Now, talking about the level at which the damages the bigotry is currently doing to Nigeria and our people, I may not be able to give you the exact sort of like percentage, like figure, or the deepness especially offline. Okay, but the level of the toxicity online, right? So concerning. Enough that myself as a Yoruba person feels like, you see, if you are throwing banters, saying things, shit about yourselves and all of that, as annoying as they can be, right? But when you begin to actually call people tainted blood, well, that's extreme. Do you understand? Like you're creating this, which is the reason why others are now sort of responding to, making it more like a competition. Okay, so when you look at people and say, I have children, right, who are, partly Scottish and partly Yoruba. Do you understand? So, and as their father, right, they have 100% right to be anything and everything they want to become in Yoruba land. Do you understand? And we have, millions of families like that too. There seems not to be any family, right, in that Nigeria. When you begin to look at your extended family, now, that you won't see people from other ethnic or tribal nationalities in them. So which means you have children, member of your family, who are also, right, part Yoruba or part Igbo, part Hausa, or part Hausa, and also part Igala, or part Yoruba and part Yoruba, and all of that stuff. So you see them in your family. I may not be able to kind of like predict the percentage of that too, but it's substantial. So many of them have grown that they've became grandmothers, grandfathers themselves, as mixed, member of the family. So when you now see the Runukus who are pushing the narrative of tainted blood or other stuff, so it is like laying the foundation for something that, if it is not curbed now, like I'm talking about, like destroyed right now, like everybody, including young people, they are aware that thoughts like this do not represent progressive minds anywhere. All right. So they may give themselves any other funny names to make themselves sound like, they know what they are doing, but they don't. So we decided that on the brunch time with Maiyegun, we would have a chance, right, to hear directly from people, your personal experience. Because the reason why we need to also do this is that even if Nigeria, or even when Nigeria finally breaks up, right, we are not moving people away from their land to somewhere else. You're still going to be on the same land. So which means wherever there is a demarcation, there is a border, right? So you are also always going to have a neighbor, and they are always going to be your neighbor. Do you get that now? So characters who are reaching this level of hatred because of the political allegiance to one drug dealer that managed, right, to beat the supposed the corrupted system of Nigeria to become your president, and that's Tifnumbu. So what is life going to be like when Tifnumbu is no longer your president? Would you have the audacity to come out again and say, some people should leave? You know what I mean? Like, or maybe they would have, that is why awareness on this and how bad it is must always be exposed. And that's what we're doing. So, like I said, that it is not one-sided. Everybody is guilty. The only difference is that we can tell those who are, like politically being sponsored to push this narrative. And we can tell those of you who, out of ignorance, have jumped into it to validate it. And now it has become, it has kind of like gotten the life of its own right now, whereby, except if anybody's living in denial of it, people are starting up spaces on Twitter. They are doing, what do you call it? TikTok, kind of group chats. They are on YouTube, they're on Facebook, doing all kinds of content, promoting this divisive rhetoric. And it's like, oh, if you do this, we're going to do that now. Or we're going to do this, we're going to do that now. You know what I mean? to the point where I saw some of them preaching to themselves that they should stop going to any Yoruba church. This is also part of it, right? They said people should stop going to the Yoruba churches. These are Igbo guys, right? The Igbo bigots doing their own thing, like their fellow Yoruba bigots, right? So they said people should stop going to Yoruba churches because Yoruba churches are fraud. All churches in that contraption are fraud. To be honest, right? Doesn't have to be Yoruba, this or that anyway. So this is their own argument. They said the Yorubas come to Igbo land, right? To come and start. This is them again. Just it's similar to when you hear the Ronuku saying the Igbos come and take over their land. Not that they sold their lands to these guys, okay? Or they came to our land, they want to dominate us, they're taking our land. It's the same mindset with the Igbo bigots. I don't know, what do you call Igbo Rono in Igbo? So I can actually see if I can, coin a word for that, like we have the Ronukus, the Yoruba Konus, right? So these Igbo Konus, right? So they were having their own time, all right, in this bigotry stuff. So they said the Yoruba churches, okay, they come to our region to collect tithes, to collect the offerings. Then they go back to their region to go and build schools. Meanwhile, in our own region, they are just there to collect taxes, to collect a tithe and the rest of that. So we will go ahead and burn down all the Yoruba churches in Igbo land. They won't do it because most of them are cowards, like the Ronukus, that will say anything and everything. But when it is time for them to actually try something, right, they are cowards, trolls. So, and then I was like, and then they went on and said, they won't even allow the Igbos to head the church in this their bigotry Olympico. Sure you get? And they said a lot, which I have some of the clip. I'll play them for you. Just like I played that of Gwonka Biridai idiot that lives in the US, right? Probably in a basement or something. But he's a leader of the Ronukus on social media. You get that now? The leader of the Ronukus. And some of them, God damn it, man. Some of them live abroad. The ringleaders, the whistleblowers, and all of them, right? They live abroad in places where they complain of racial discrimination too, racism, So I saw that and I was like, it's not the first time. I've heard worse. People have said worse things about, I've seen group of Igbos who have said worse things about the Yorubas. And when you ask them, they will tell you they are reacting to the bullying of the Yorubas online. And I've seen the Yorubas too, who have said horrible things about not just the Igbos, but about other people too. And I've seen many of them who have said horrible things about the Yoruba. So it's like it goes like that. It just fling up and down like that in that contraption. So you can share your own personal experience. I've read a lot. I've heard a lot, right? I've seen things that in my own existence, I never thought would ever happen, or anyone would ever even like mute such idea, like think it. You get that now? But now I have learned to sift through them, pity those who get swayed. I mean, those who get easily swayed in the name of I want to defend my tribe. You can't say that nonsense about. How dare you say that about us, the Igbos? You this Yorubas thinking this and that. Oh, shut up your mouth. You this Igbo that are this and that. And everybody, and the saddest part is that because it's online, right? It is online. Majority of these people, they've never actually have any one-on-one kind of like a contact with some of the tribes that they despised so much. Listen to this. I'll come back, right? Come back. Or listen to these conversations.
Before that, a friend of mine sent me a message and wrote, "You Omoibo." I didn't reply the message. So immediately I heard her say it. I went back to the chat and wrote, Onwale. Because this my particular friend voted for P2B. Already, his people in Lagos Island disowned him. They called him Onwale for voting. So he literally does not go to their house for now, till maybe later. So when I went back and called him Onwale, he now said, "You emotic girl." I said, "Yes, now I'm very emotic and I'm gracefully emotic. If I'm not emotic, do you want me to be Yorubatic?" So I think these words, emotic, omo Igbo, are slow words that they are already accustomed to. So whenever they give it to you, it's either you give it back to them or talk down on them. Tomorrow, they will not call you those slow words again. Thank you.
Iva, a quick one. I have a friend, that's from Onichubu who married a Yoruba girl, and they've had 3 children. A quick one, I won't waste time so that I won't be opening my friend's eyes. The Yoruba girl suddenly begin to, look outside one Yoruba guy, we don't rub this their ego juju for his
Yes,
teeth.
now it's a
Yes.
normal thing now.
Yes. Hold on. Do you know that we eventually was able to narrow down that she's, cheating? She's not fidelity to the husband. We eventually I told the guy, speak to your father-in-law, then speak to the family. We ended up in my own eyes, in my own eyes. We ended up going to the family house. This my friend's wife, whose mother is also Yoruba, the father is Yoruba. The mother began to cry. Do you know what she asked us? This woman began to cry, begin to call my friend a wicked man. Omoibu, you are wicked. So as my daughter born 3 children for you, you won't make it still be only you. So these 3 children never do you. Make you leave my daughter, make she enjoy as I swear his back. I swear by everything I know.
No, yeah.
We
No,
left their house. As shame left my friend, begin to catch me for following you to go and listen to that nonsense.
Yoruba parents that used to tell their daughter to go and prostitute and bring money home. Now, no be today. They are very lazy. Anything that will not make them work, but to see food chop. Now there you go see them. You understand? That one we go still revisit we will still
Everything. No, that is saying don't end for you. Now what for now?
the
Stop it, full ground.
Atlantic prostitution of Yoruba people in Libya, in every part, not Cyprus. These are things we are still gonna write stuffs about. Transatlantic prostitution of Yoruba, how their mom gives them out or encourages them to go out there and prostitute and bring money home. All
All
right,
right,
thank you. I'll have to
Sidwe,
move
I
some
think
people
we
down.
have someone else that'd like to share something.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw one of her tweets on the TL yesterday, and I promised her as soon as she comes up, I'm going to let her speak. Jingles, good afternoon, ma.
Because I didn't finish the story because of time. Okay. After the mother told me we can't get married and all that, I just stayed on my own. So later the mom called me that the guy is sick. Is that how I want to take care of his son? I should come around. So I came to the house, I cooked for him. I was just taking care of him till he got better, something like that. So the last straw that made me say no, I can't deal was when he told me, because sometimes he receives calls from female folks and all that. He was like that this one that I'm jealous that he's only answering call. That in their place, like in Yoruba land, that they're used to having concubines after they get married. I said, please explain. Like I did as if I don't understand the English. I said, please, I beg explain. You can say, hey, if we marry now, say you can still have other women outside, And he said it and started laughing. I said, wait, I don't understand. Like, you put cheats, like, because you're not saying, no, it's not really cheating, like, but at least you just have people that are making you happy outside. Not that you leave me and all that. I said, okay. I said, fine. So, I said, but not be only you get monopoly of madness now. You understand? So, if you do your own, like me too now, I go still find one bubble who could make me happy like that. You can say, So what if I get pregnant? I say, like, if I get pregnant, I go still bring them back to you now. Like, you don't understand. You say, no, that this is how they are in Yoruba land. Even his uncles, that they have concubines here and there. Man, that was the last straw. I said, God, no, I can't deal. So that was how I left the relationship totally. So this thing about them cheating, hopping from one person to another, not caring for whoever they got married to, is pure truth. It's truth. My in-law, the sister married a Yoruba man. Now, so the man leave them with 3 children. Like, he could just go out, stay 1 week outside, come back, innocent. Now, the girl, she gets saloon. Now, they feed the man, they feed the children on top. So that's how they are. So that's just what I want to say. Thank you very much, everybody.
Why do you think absent fatherism in Nigeria, it's one particular tribe have highest rate? Like, and out of 10 Yoruba children today, at least few of them, let's say it's 6 of them don't know their father. You think it's normal? You think it's normal? It's their
It's
culture.
really horrible.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jingles, for that. Um.
Before that, a friend of mine sent me a message and wrote, "You Omoibo." I didn't reply the message. So immediately I heard her say it. I went,
That's the kind of conversation you hear out there. And of course, if you are a Yoruba person and you are listening to that when they are having that kind of a conversation, right? Let's say you stumble on it on Twitter. Your first reaction is going to be that of, wow. So your personal experience with someone translates to the entire race. That's rich. But it is the same when you hear the Yoruba bigots themselves too, right? When they start talking about this Igbo, that, and other. So if you are, even if you're a Yoruba person or an Igbo person too, you just feel like, gonna be like, well, that's rich coming from you. You know? There's a part I want you to listen. This is a longer one, right? When they are talking about the Yoruba churches. I'm still coming up.
Jane Adeboye University onwe bụ na be ha gbe oyedekpo ha ya na-ajụ if our place is good for setting up these Pentecostal churches ebe a na-atụ tithe on offering, why won't our place be good for them building those churches? A na-akpọ brethren, but when it comes to taking over the leadership of the church, ọ bụrụ na ọnwa ha. Now, why is it that all of the people name ihe church, that is how you know it's a business. Their son must take over, either is repented or not. They begin to groom their son, their children, to take over. When you go close to those children, you see that this person ordinarily is not even supposed to be a man of God. Now that child na nwere anything ndị ka ya, but a ga-package gidi ya, next thing eme ya general overseer. All of a sudden, okay, everybody nwezi anointing. That Oyedekpo son, kazi everybody ne anointing. A na-akpọ brethren, mana unu ka na-azọkwa brethren, everybody is still brethren. Look at, if you go to Ala Igbo, the motherless babies, some of the motherless babies home, you will see that Catholic owns some where they take care of our kids. You see that some of these school and churches are being owned either by Anglican or church Catholic or Catholic people. You understand? Some of these hospitals, in fact, some of these reverend sisters, sometimes they go to teach our younger ones. Na ha na-akwado WAEC ma O level ma ihe na. Kedu uru chọọchị ndị ofe mmanụ a mbala anyị nwa? If you're going to repent, ni repent on our winners, you are not going to heaven. The way they even shade these our Catholic churches that have really helped our life right from beside the war, before the war, right from the time of the war. The way they shade those churches to make you believe that you are not worshiping God if you're going to those places. Now, when it comes to leadership, anything that will affect our life, our collective life, he's seen a back door support to ba onye behendi fanatically corrupt. House on the Rock Church, I for your beautiful church branch in Enugu. Man, you are the one that started preaching Paul and Saul, so that we can accept a drug dealer that have made our life miserable. And every Sunday you are preaching to us prosperity. You are preaching to us, oh, your God will do this, God will do that. But you saw a confirmed, documented drug dealer. But tribalism did not allow you. This is where we are. This is where we are. And you know why Yoruba churches are very successful? Because these are the people that doesn't really have conscience. These are tribes that can actually openly lie with God's name, damning the consequences. They don't care. They are raised like that. Lies, deceit. You think that all this lie, deceit that they are known for, that they will not, it now get to church that they will not apply it. Go and look at the leadership of RCCG. It cannot be coincidence. Every branch onye Yoruba, every destiny onye Yoruba. Genwambu an Igbo man that has worked so hard, built your destiny. All of a sudden you become weak under one Pastor Lugbenga Koginina, all in the name no bu pastor. Pastor ebe ko ebe ko na pastor aga. So you as an Igbo man, you don't know how to worship God. No, Yoruba pastor Kazigi Mara Chineke. We have to stop these people. So if you're listening to me, all these Yoruba churches, if you guys know that you're out there to continue to milk our people, you will be shocked what we will do to those buildings you have in our place, because those things are just buildings. The churches are in the minds of the people. Those those buildings you have that you're using to gather our people and milk them, you will be shocked what we will do to those buildings when the time comes. Because now we are in what we are constantly doing is to preach and at least to untie all those constant brainwash that you guys have done years. Once we are able to educate our people enough on the nonsense you guys have done, we will be able to comfortably march to those your churches. Don't all the time our shops, our offices are being set ablaze. Our shops are being set ablaze in your hometown, in your place, in Lagos, all those places. You will never say anything. If we begin to target those buildings and begin to destroy them, I'm very sure it's vice versa. Because your churches in Igbo land are nothing but pure businesses. We know people that are all for God. You are very intentional about just taking our money. But when it comes to building any infrastructure that will benefit the people, you take it, you apply bigotry and take it to your own place. Employ your people in those schools, employ only your people in the admin. Imagine these universities that Yoruba men are building in their hometown. Do you know how many of their people they are employed, they comfortably pay? But when it comes to gathering the collective money to
You will remember Igbo land. So do you see how that nuisance comfortably and gently spewing out nonsense with so much confidence? I mean, it would have made a lot of sense, seriously, if his rage and his, what do you call it, his hatred is not centered around or centered for the Yorubas. People in defense of somebody like that will say, oh, but Yoruba said something like that too. Now, it would have made sense, like I said. For example, if you are somebody who says, we must cut the influence of religion in our people. Now, when you use that, it simply means your issue is what people have used religion, right, to do in, I mean, it weaken your own people. So to free the sheepies, right, you first have to liberate their minds from the, you know, from whatever they have used religion to sort of like, you know, cage them. But it started with churches. Yoruba churches are fraud, like they are scams and other stuff. Well, I would say your churches, your mosques, in that contraption where you have a different businessmen and women handling them, they are just business centers. So he was right when he said the church is in the mind of the people. It is, you know, the church there is just a building, but what is in the mind of the people is the real religion or something like that, right? So he's also right. Then he said Yoruba tribes, they are liars. And that is like a kind of using one single brush to paint the entire tribe. It's just like me saying, man, the Igbos, they are. And everyone will say, what do you mean? Like, how many Igbos have you met in your life, Mr. Maiyegun, for you to come to that conclusion? Can you tell us? Then I would have to double down, confidently spewing rubbish, nonsense. And that's exactly what that was. Right? Yorubas are not liars as tribes. Human beings are liars, treacherous, deceitful, and can do anything just to get whatever they want. Human beings. Yorubas are also as Igbos. Humans is human nature. Do you understand? So, and they will do anything to do that. Okay. And once we start picking and cherry picking, right? It's pretty much like a preposterous, they will say. Right? So he said, what we will do to those buildings, that means the churches, according to him, this time around, right? Yoruba churches in Igbo land. What about you close all churches? Yeah? What about you close all churches? Because there are, what do you call it? You have your bigger churches in Igbo land too, don't you? Like that guy in Enugu, that fake miracle pastor. You have a lot of them now. You have what's that guy's name? Mbaka. And people go there also to give him money and do, right? You don't have any problem with that. He spoke about Catholics. And the Catholics say, you know, Catholic mission, building schools, hiring teachers, brilliant. So how many schools are the Igbo churches? How many schools have they built? How many teachers have they hired and the rest of that? So if you are going to pick any, you just have to probably just pick the churches themselves and say, yeah, we are waging war against churches. But Yoruba churches, that is where that tribalism and the bigotry is. He spoke like somebody who is personally pained. And I feel for him when he spoke about Tifnumbu, that some people used tribalism to force Tifnumbu. That too, right? Doesn't make any sense. So you want to agree and say, oh, I feel your pain. Or how Tifnumbu became your president. It wasn't the Yorubas that made Tifnumbu your president. If by any design, right, despite all the arrogance, the Yorubas rejected Tifnumbu, like outrightly. So if you're paying that Tinubu is the president of that contraption, and then you are latching that on the Yorubas generally, so that means you are a nuisance. If you feel like that too, like an Igbo person, because you know something, I used to see people that will come onto Maiyegun's diary political and they will look at me and say, man, I can't believe this guy is a Yoruba man. Some will say, oh, this is the only Yoruba man that I know that tells the truth. They didn't know that it is actually the bigotry inside them that is speaking out. Some of you feels like that. So that's why I said from the beginning that the bigotry that we are experiencing in that contraption didn't start with Tifnumbu and Co. They just weaponized it. It's always been there. And you have all of your bigots from every tribe who blames other people for whatever it is that they are passing through. And when I say other people, I mean, it's easier to just say, for example, say, the Hausas are the Northerners are the problem of Nigeria. I've heard people say that many times. Others will say, Yorubas are the problem of Nigeria. Another will say, now these Igbo people be the problem of Nigeria. All of them, right? They are referring to the victims of a failed system. So when you say the Northerners are the problems of this country, so you're practically saying that an average Northerner that is dodging bomb or dodging bullets, hiding from a kidnapper, and you know that stuff, right? Is also responsible for you not being safe in your own community, you, right? Not being able to actually live a better life, like lead a better life because of the poverty and the hardship in the land. So it is like that, or you blame, you say, the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria. You say, how? The Yorubas are the problems of Nigeria. The Yorubas, the Igbos, the Hausas, and everybody else, right, is feeling the pang of a failed system. But there are those who conveniently, stupidly, right, conveniently and comfortably, they will spew that. And then you see others that will agree and say, ah, that's true, my brother. Oh, my brother, God bless you, Jare. Thank you for saying the truth. You know it, the Yorubas are the problem. I'm a Yoruba man. Can you say I'm your problem? If you are not a Yoruba, for example, like if you're from that contraption, when you look at me, we do say, you this Maiyegun, you are because you are a Yoruba man, you are a problem. So everyone is pushing their own different bigotry, giving excuses. You know, it's easier to hide behind anything and say, as a Yoruba, I can say, I start abusing any other tribe right now. Like for real, like just be banging and banging, all of that. I am going to see a lot of Yoruba bigots who are going to back me and say, hey, now you are talking, Maiyegun. We told you. You see these Hausa people. You see these Igbo people. You cannot trust them. They are this, they are, you get what I mean? Like you will see those who are going to back me. Why some of you are going to be in shock, like, so Maiyegun is a bigot too. You get what I mean? So every one of us could react, give excuses and all that. But at the end of the day, we are doing just one job. Just one job. And that is the job to keep the old division weaponized, never to come together to face the rogues who have put all of us in this precarious situation, right? It will remain difficult. And that's why I said it is politically sponsored. And that is why we have to keep, you know, exposing it this way. You know what I mean? I like keep shining the light on it. So those of you who are closet, what do you call it? The closet tribalist or the closet bigots. So those of you who didn't see anything wrong in slandering other people and even threatening them, the way we have witnessed in that contraption, like, you know. So to those of you, so you need to know, and we'll keep shining the light on it. People can keep sharing their own personal experiences as well, like share your experience, tell us, because the height of it all is that tribalism, or what you call it, the bigotry, doesn't actually really favor anybody. If you come to think of it, like generally, it doesn't favor anybody. It just keeps you bittered, sad. You know what I mean? Like, sad. Who wants to live a sad life? How can people be comfortable living a sad life? A life where you just choose to be miserable in a way, right? Meanwhile, the common thing that affects everyone, okay, in which we are all victims of this horrible, terrible criminal regime, that affects everyone, including the forceful, union. They call it one Nigeria, right? This forceful union that should be having everyone's kind of like, everyone's request right now, demanding that it's either we renegotiate this contraption or everyone go their separate ways. But we are soaking in toxic, divisive, one Nigeria. So you have a chance and a shot, right, to share your experience when it comes to this subject matter. So give me a sec. I want to put the line back up. So let's hope that opens, okay? So what I mean is that you can share your own personal experience and also call out those who have taken it as their, their own clarion call, right? Because there are those who, but now I don't know how to describe them. Sure, you get. It's like they wake up every day to keep inflaming rhetorics like this, right? And then they go to bed as well, satisfied that they've had a wonderful day. And they'll go, or they wake up tomorrow again, they'll do the same thing the next day, again and again and again. And to be honest, in real life, people have been asking questions. Yeah, I've had to send a very, very long voice note to an individual that reached out to me. She's a grandma, put it that way. So she is a product of mixed, two different parental background. Like, the mom, according to her mom was Igbo, she's late. So her dad was Yoruba. They are from Ondo State. So they were raised, they were born and raised in Lagos before she finally relocated back to the US. Relocated back to the US. So I'll leave that few information there so that the person probably, will be watching too. And she reached out where she said she's I think she's 71 or 72, but she's in her 70s. Okay. So she said she's been following the conversation around this, this Yorubaness or not being Yoruba enough. And somehow she's very sad because it used to be a thing of pride, like, right, when they were growing up, that they had to go to, they had to go to the East for holidays, or sometimes they have to receive people from the East for holidays. So it was like, when they spend time with their families on both sides, they were never reminded of not being fully Yoruba. But that all she's been reading, and as well as the reactions of some of these public office holders in Yoruba land, they have been giving her a serious concern. Because 3 of our own children, right, they also, they intermarried with, other ethnic nationalities, put it that way. So to her, what will be the fate? What will be the fate of the children, the grandchildren, and others in Yoruba land when Yoruba land becomes independent? She's one of those who have been very vocal as well, very supportive for the Yoruba nation's advocacy. She has been. So she was like, she's been thinking that day when she sent me that message, right? Voice note. She said she's been thinking, and the only person she could pretty much talk to or ask this question would be me. And it took me 2 days, okay, before I finally kind of sum up courage to respond in detail the way I wanted to. Because our voice, our concerns, our examples, of what she saw and all of that stuff, they were real, So it doesn't make any sense for me to downplay it and say, hey, where am I worried? Don't worry, Majari, forget about that. No, that's not how to handle it. So I eventually kind of send the voice note back, took my time, And I explained, to her that, you see, in practice, at least not any that I am aware of now, right? In practice, it is very, very rare for people to be profiled simply because their mom or so is from another tribe or ethnic nationality in Yoruba land within their family. Do you get that now? So I said it is very rare. I said, since yourself said that while you are growing up, you never experienced such, that everything was like, everybody just grew up like the same, they are from the same parents and all that stuff. I said, I still feel like that's how it is. But that may be changing, no doubt, okay, because of the last 20 years of Tinubu's politics in Yoruba land, politics of hatred and politics of criminality. So we cannot rule out the effect of that on our people. But still, significantly, it is not that effective. So I said, that is one, okay? And the second one is that we will keep raising awareness, because there are people who have suffered this indignation, right? Enough that that actually changed them. And they never really shared it with anybody, but it changed them forever, right? In which, if you ask them what happened, how come you became this cold towards your paternal side and all that, and then they probably will burst out and tell you what happened, okay? So to you, our lady, I call her a lady, said, to you, right? We must continue to raise awareness. We must continue to ask people to speak up. We must also learn that way of naming and shaming those who are dwelling in this kind of bigotry, even if they are your family member. Because it is out of sheer ignorance that will make you think, right? It is a good thing to profess hatred towards the people who have done you nothing. Okay? But because you have been programmed to live that hateful existence, whether you are an Igbo person or you are a Yoruba person, programmed to hate one another, no matter your excuse. Some of you love to give excuses. No, me, I'm not. I mean, it's not. That's not true. You see, you can give all your excuses, okay. But the thing there is that we must continue to name and shame the people that are dwelling in this. Children are so innocent that nobody is born to hate people. Do you know that? You have to learn it. Hating people or claiming to want to hurt or harm people because you hate them because of their tribe or their ethnic or even their religion. You have to learn all those things. Children were once children, remember? So as children, as innocent as we were, right? So we grew up in a society, in household and all of this, where hatred were just like any other virtue for them, like it's just a virtue. Do you understand? So then you learn this hatred. You learn it as you grow. And then you begin to live this hatred. Then you begin to pass it on. So the only way we can curb it is, number one, if you have any mixed parentage, right? You must know that you are not just you're not just special. You are greatly, special because you are just the infusion of dual tradition, culture, as well as heritage. So you are unique. So when you now see some low lives who are milking the political differences to spread their usual rhetoric political division, right? So once they enter the family circle, that is where you have to cut the entire bundle of you don't let anybody it's called manipulation, by the way, right? When people decide to manipulate you because of your tribe, all right? And if they know that, and to make you madder and angrier, there are times that they have to even adopt the suppose say the tribal name. Me, Maiyegun now, I can come back and be Chinedu Nwapa, or Chinedu or Emeka Nwakwo, right? You are Maiyegun, and I can begin to write nonsense about the Yorubas. Remember, I'm a Yoruba man, but using Emeka's profile on social media. And somebody like yourself, who possibly I'm just giving some of you benefit of the doubt now. Like some of you who are like apolitical, right? Those of you who don't really fancy all this political stuff and all that, you just use your own. And you sit down, you sit down, JJ, and then this post just pop up on your timeline. And anywhere we see any Yoruba in Igbo land, we're supposed to actually like tie their hand and take them into the forest and do this to them, like we do to the cow of the Fulanis, this and that. So if I just put that on the social media, and then you as a Yoruba person, in shock, what is really wrong with it? Instead of you to say, what is really wrong with this Emeka Nwakwo? What is this person's name? The first thing that will kind of break into your brain will be, what is wrong with all these Igbo people say? One person will come become people. What is wrong with all these Igbo people say? These Igbo people that, man, we are supposed to show these Igbo people. They don't have any respect, all that stuff. And yeah, that's how you get manipulated. And we have seen that many, many times. That's why I love it when I have a chance of recording their voices too. So it goes all sides. We have the part where the Edo people, we have some of the Edo nuisance on social media too, from Benin and all those places, right? Whose own campaign of Edo versus Igbo, Edo versus Yoruba, all that stuff, they are everywhere. I just want to let you know that all these things they are pushing, they are indeed real. When I say real, I mean the effect of what they are pushing. So the only way you can possibly destroy such narrative, right, is to bring it to the public so that everybody sees it, everybody hears it and say, no, this is not acceptable. No, this is not right. Just like some of you were listening to these 2 audios I played earlier, right? You sat there and you're like, why is it no? This is wrong. As much as some of you too, possibly as you are hearing it, you are agreeing. Yes. Thank you, Jerry, my brother. You are saying the truth. Maiyegun is saying the truth. And so you, the Yorubas are. People have said that to my face before. I told you. I have suffered tribal profiling on my own platform. I have suffered tribal ethnic slurs and attacks, right, from non-Yorubas on my own platform. I have had Igbo audience here who told me, like I said before, who told me and said they have never seen any honest Yoruba person until they saw Maiyegun. And they were expected that to be a compliment. Because it's like saying out of over 60 to 70 million Yorubas worldwide, this is the first time you are seeing a Yoruba man that says the truth, because he's saying the truth. That suits you. And then you're going to see another one. They'll say, some of you say that, it's sad, because sometimes it might sound like maybe it is true for you because you've never really met any Igbo, you've never really met any Yoruba per se, and this is your first time, but you've heard a lot about a lot of negative things that are not true, right? And now you are seated there, you are listening to a Yoruba man, you're like, huh? Or even at that, right? There's still this bigotry inside somewhere that is telling you, don't trust a Yoruba man. Oh, be honest. You are free. This is a free. This is a safe place. Where you look at me and say, there's something tells you inside, and don't trust a Yoruba man. Is a Yoruba man. Oh. Yoruba man are so they pure. You remember what we tell you about Yoruba people? You remember? Don't forget to. Don't like him. Oh. Okay? Stop saying you like him. He's a Yoruba man. I remember when some people get mad simply because they were seeing super chat on Maiyegun's diary political. Super chat. Chinyere S. Kalu Opara, £50 or $50. Chukwemeka Eze, $50. What else, right? So then the next thing, you start seeing them. I mean, I've witnessed that, I've suffered that, right? You start seeing them lambasting those Igbo people who always go to the Yoruba man's platform to go and watch. They will not support an Igbo man. They will not support an Igbo this and that. So there is always that bigotry in everyone that you are fighting. It's called like fighting them, suppressing it. Then you will see the Yorubas too that will say, well, Maiyegun, you and these Igbo people, Maiyegun, you better be careful with these Igbo people. I know, say on your platform, now there you have all these Igbo people. This is how bigotry works. It's inside you. It is there. It is somewhere. But somehow you probably know it is wrong. But it's something that keeps pushing it up to let you feel like, no, feel good. Yeah, say it. Do it. You're going to feel good, right? Say it. And I don't want to sound like I'm a tribalist too, but I want to say something about our Igbo brothers. You see, our Igbo brothers, they too like money. I don't want anybody to think I'm a tribalist too. That is your bigotry inside you pushing it. You don't tell you say talk. Say it. Say it that the Igbos like money. Go on. And the same. So I have suffered it, and I can speak from my own experience. I can share my own experience with us. But, like I said, every one of us will know it is not right. It is wrong. Now, when you know it is wrong, why are you doing it? When you know it is very wrong, why are you looking away when you see those people who are doing it? Tribalism, bigotry, it is Olympics. They're like, let's go into bigotry and all of that stuff, dissipating so much energy. But the hatred, right, that is associated with bigotry is what some of you are not possibly looking at. The hatred is so much that when some of them says, let us just go and kill so, and so, you will see others that will agree. You get what I mean? We are supposed to go and burn down all the Igbo shops in Lagos, all the Igbo shops, this and we should demolish everything. We should. Now, when you see the person where they talk, you will be like, say, now this one they talk, say we need to chase all the Igbo out of this one. God damn it, I have wasted my energy replying and talking talk. Now this is what we say, if you give her a slap like this, you go buy coffin. Do you get what I mean? So the effect, that's why we have to keep shining light on this. So we must understand that we know this bigotry is bad. We understand that it can have a lasting effect on its victims. So there's no point in because you want to feel great or feel good and you become that bigoted person. I know it is a competition for some of them. When you look inward, right, it is even injurious. And I'm more concerned about those ones who have started calling people tainted blood. Tainted blood. That's a slow word for somebody to say because you're not probably going to say yes to Tifnumbu. So you're automatically not a real Yoruba. Do you get that now? And if you are not hating the Igbos enough, then you are not true Yoruba as well to these Ronuku gangs in their different categories, right? So if you have had any reason to have your first shock at tribalism, the bigotry in that place, people have said that they've lost houses. And this one is not just about family. I mean, people have lost house, what do you call it? Houses, right? House rent and all that. They've lost that simply because they are not, they are from a particular tribe or ethnic nationality in that contraption. People have lost jobs. And people have lost relationships. Probably that one is as old as human itself, because I don't know, people have lost relationships because of their tribal or ethnic differences. I know you will felt no, like you can't marry him. People say, well, why can't I marry him? Please, I love him so much. Please, mommy, please beg. I said, no, your daddy said you can't marry him. Why? He's an Igbo man. You can't marry an Igbo person. We hear that, you see, whenever their husband die, they have to cook the husband and then use the bath water for the, that nonsense, right? So you cannot, no, over my dead body. So we've had people like that who experienced this. And in 2025, you will think maybe that should not be happening again. Maybe you are not paying attention in 2023. You see, 2022, 2023, it was the crescendo of it. It was the height of it, right? So there are relationships that collapsed simply because of their tribal, ethnic differences. Here is another one. If our differences have become weaponized against us, enough that we are now preaching, people are now preaching that don't marry from another tribe. Pity your children. Pity your future children. Don't marry from another tribe apart from your own. Don't marry from another ethnic nation. All that stuff, right? People are already pushing that. Okay. So I'm like, if that is the case, even though the Ronukus are not thoughtful people, okay, they are just miserable cons, right? Those sewage dwellers, right? They don't think. So I'm like, if we can no longer coexist like this, why are we still keeping this contraption there? Oh, weaponization of tribalism, bigotry, religious differences, and all of that stuff. It's actually just the prerogative of the poor people. That is why it doesn't appear to the ruiners of Nigeria that we don't want to stay together. They weaponized the division, weaponized the tribalism and all of that for their own political gain. And it's good for them. As long as all of you are still forced together to stay in the same contraption and they keep the power, yes, if you like yourself or you don't like yourselves, they don't care. So to them, let the machine, which is Nigeria, keep rolling out and keep printing, keep minting. So you see, those of you who are the subjects inside the concentration camp, right? Because Nigeria is like an open concentration camp. No, not like Nigeria is an open concentration camp. Many people are walking about and somehow thinking that they are free, and others are in prison. Or all of you are actually in prison. The rich or the poor, my family or your family. Nigeria is an open concentration camp. You know what I mean? Like, it's a place where life doesn't have any meaning anyway, right? They can snap your life away from you just like that, and nobody will be held responsible. You know. So everybody stay inside the place, right? While your elite, your ruiners, they are united up there. Their children are even marrying themselves. Honestly. Their children, they are marrying, they are sort of like building their stolen wealth by intermarrying their children. So to them, they are the true the true picture of what Nigeria is, not what the poorest, the wretched are doing to themselves on Obasanjo's internet. Do you get that now? So the reason why, because I am thinking, like if things have gotten to this level whereby don't marry this, don't don't befriend that. Don't get this person as your tenant. Don't employ this person because of where they come from the tribe they come from, the ethnic they come from, and all that stuff, right? Don't marry this, don't, you know. If that is the case, why are we still keeping this contraption? Why are you still interested in one Nigeria? Yes, you. Why are you turning your head? You, I'm talking to you. Are you not a pro-Nigeria, like one Nigerian is studying? You are? So with all of these things, you are saying, hang on, another thing. Poor man begin. They will say, oh, I going to leave all that thing, just online, Jare, no matter, we'll just move on, living in denial. It is the easiest route. You can just pretend that it is not happening. And by so doing, you won't have to worry yourself. You won't have to bother yourself on figuring out how to fix this. You will not be bothered, right? Just like, no, it's not happening. Let's just leave those people, forget it. Then, of course, like they told us that MC Oduero was just joking when he said that Mama Shukud should stay at home if she's not coming out of vote for Tifno. Remember? But we got to see them. Not only did they prevented the Igbos from participating in the election in Lagos State in so many areas, right? They actually stopped everyone who looked like Igbo. That's sad. The miscreant, the sewage dwellers expected everyone to just be like them, miserable animals, right? I wanted to say miserable. Yeah? So if you look, if you dress neat, you smell good, you're automatically not a Yoruba person. Have you forgotten that this is the level of the discrimination at the time? That doesn't represent Yoruba, does it? Eh? So somebody now said the Yorubas are dirty. And you are mad. You're not mad. That the Tifnubu thugs, the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, the Agberos in Lagos, they prevented people from voting because they are too clean to be Yoruba. If you go onto Maiyegun's diary political, you will see all the videos there, right? Go and check it. Search for 2023 elections of Maiyegun's diary political. Just go back to 2023, right? And then you see them, day of election, presidential election. Say, Yoruba ni mi now, kile. Yoruba wo ni iwo wo ni Yoruba. Ogbeni wo le people be, you cannot vote here. We are telling you now to go back to your houses. So any Igbo here cannot vote here. Anybody will be saying Igbo here, we don't go allow you to vote. So Alaya, they talk to you, they look at me, they say, me, I'm a Yoruba now. What do you mean? My name is here's my voter's card. Look at it. How many I know they look voter card. Voter card. How many you see this one? We say you see how you look. They tell me say you be Yoruba. You Yoruba. About how many no vote here, Joe? In Ikorodu in Lagos. I have the video. Somebody smells too good to look like you to be Yoruba, and you are mad. And somebody said that even though they shouldn't, because those miscreants don't represent the Yorubas, but that is what they have forced on us now by making you believe that Tifnubu is Yoruba. So if anybody says something about Tifnubu, that person is saying it against the Yorubas. Do you understand? Or if you say something as a Yoruba, you are criticizing your own. Is it Obi that you are going to go and support Omo Igbo? You go and support Omo Igbo now. This and that. You are not a Yoruba, you are Omo Yoruba. Coming from miserable people, miserable animals. You know what I mean? The typical sewage dwellers. Right? And you just sit there and be like, oh, yeah, I know. I know. Do you think any normal person they follow to go before we be weary? So you get that, you say, I will be weary. Especially because I'm only like, if I don't touch your druggy, right? That means I don't like Yoruba land. So this is why those of you who are of good character, the real Omoluabis, this is why you have to speak up. Majority of you have kept quiet enough that you just can't be bothered. The only reason why some of you are now speaking up is because you feel like they are insulting your people, insulting the Ronokus, what do you call it, criticizing Tifnumbu, and all of that stuff does not correlate with criticizing the Yorubas or what have you. Or maybe I am not in the best position to convince you on that. It doesn't matter anyway. So the purpose is to keep reminding our children, okay, that the hatred that they are going to be taught, right? Some of us were taught the same in such a subtle way. I mean, some subtle ways, right? In which we're just like a walking bigotry, so to say. Some people are unable to control it. Yeah, like to suppress it. Why some can indeed suppress it, understanding the differences, the complexity, and what a view of that contraption, right? So our children will need to be raised in love, with love. When I say raise them with love, please, we mustn't let the society determine how we will raise a responsible generation. Put it that way. Yeah. The society can troll you, bully you enough that you can begin to use one brush to paint an entire tribe, whether you're a Yoruba person. You look at the Igbos and you're like, and what about Kidney? Huh? What about what? I heard that a view actually like have any concrete evidence of what you said ahead. You see? So maybe by trying to be a little bit like upbeat, right? That we are all bigotry. Okay, we are all like a bigot with our bigotries, okay? But somehow, majority of us have realized that those who embedded all this nonsense in us, from all tribes in that contraption, right? They were wrong. They just needed us as vessel to carry on their hatred. Politicians only weaponized it, they tapped into it, utilized this open gap of differences, right? And they then weaponized it to the point whereby everybody has every horrible thing to say about every tribe. Now, when you see the Yorubas who want to say something about the Igbos, you feel like, wow. So your heart is so filled with such hatred. And that your hateful thoughts, right, is what you are calling facts with confidence. About facts. Facts in me, see, make I tell you, see, the Igbo people say facts. Say, damn it, man. It's scary, yeah? When you see people with so much hatred and they are spewing out this garbage, like this hateful stuff, right? And they start telling you that it's fact. It's a fact, so it's a fact. And then you see another Igbo person too, right? In order to fight back, begin to also spew jargons, hateful stuff, and you be like, I mean, they will tell you that they don't feel hatred or something like that. No, Baba, don't worry, don't explain yourself. We can see who you are. So like I've said many times of Maiyegun General political on this platform, right? I do not actually bet that all of us are going to do the right thing after listening to Maiyegun on Maiyegun General political, right? I won't put a bet on it. But you know what I love about what I do is that even if you disagree with me, right? you will be able to see where any part of this speaks to you. Yeah, you will find a space where this actually speaks to you, speaks directly to your conscience. And when nobody is probably watching, when nobody is listening, you and your conscience will say, or maybe maybe I should do it differently next time, right? So on Maiyegun's diary political, the information will be put out in front of you. And like I said, you don't really have to agree with it. But the fact that you will sit there, you will listen to it, the information has been passed on to you, now you can do anything you want with it. You know what we have today, or these days, is called the selective kind of like ignorance, selective amnesia. Everything is just selective, you know, selective rage. People choose what to be angry about, you know. They say, ah, they have just killed 14 people in Bokos. That one news. Papa, give us another news, Jerry. Anything there? Davido just shared Wizkid's picture where Wizkid was drunk. He said, this Davido, 30 billion gag, the 30 billion gag, very, very foolish, very, very stupid. Others will come and say, oh no, it is you, the Wizzy, this and that. Then they would dissipate so much energy. Then the bloggers will take it. They will write a lot about it. Then the content creators will grab it. They'll begin to create content about Davido fighting Wizkid and Wizkid fighting back and this one fighting that and all of that stuff. I'm like, they just killed 15 people in Bokos, guys. Benny, go Bokos now. Why you no go Bokos? Benny, not disturb us, Jare. You said go talk about Bokos. Leave Bokos. So where people select what to be enraged by or not. You understand? People are picking and all that. So my own is that that is the world we live, right? But at the same time, when it comes to the right information, what is right? We all do know what is right. We do. And knowing what is right is not the same as doing what is right. Now, doing what is right is like act. All right? Not just like, yeah, I heard that. No. You are actually doing what is right. So on Maiyegun's diary political, you have the chance of knowing what is going on. The right information about what's going on. Then left to you. What do you think should be done differently? Where do you think you belong in all of this, right? Are you a villain in all of this? Or you're likely going to become an hero in all of this too. So now you can figure that out. Until that time, right? I would keep their bigotry series on, just to keep reminding us. And to those of you who I have expected to share your personal experience with us, you know, sharing your personal experience is just to help educate other people, because when you have, like, let's say 20 people who are victims of all of this, right? Or somehow the entire sort of like a bullying and this whole threat of a thing has gotten to them. But they just would rather just, you know, they say, we want you to exist, but you must not be seen, kind of. And when you pop up and say, well, I'll tell you my own story. My dad is Yoruba, my mom is Edo. I had this wonderful experience, you know, that's so when you share, right? Somebody will be like, oh, okay, I think I'm going to actually share mine too. And when you keep something like this in the public mouth or lips, right? It simply means that there is a chance. Yeah, it means that there's a chance that the advancement of this bigotry and the hatred politically sponsored by these rogues will eventually die, because people will be aware. People will understand the motive behind this whole thing, rather than being reactionary to all of this, right? People will actually handle it better and handle the bigoted ones better on all tribes. For the sake of our own children, right? If you do not understand what is really at stake, you are advised, for the sake of your children, do not, right? Do not crossbreed with another tribe, at least not for now. Is that a good advice? No, I don't think it is a good advice. Okay, I take that back. All right. But again, educate yourself enough. Okay. Educate yourself enough to understand, right, what may be at stake when you venture into these intertribal, inter-ethnic relationships. It's not that it's not beautiful, it is. Okay. But until this, or you either join us in facing out this miscreant from our own society. It may take time because they didn't just emerge or they didn't just surface just randomly. It was built over time. So when we educate the people more about the danger and the consequences of entertaining thoughts like that, this divisive rhetoric, toxic kind of like exchanges, right? When we educate the people more. Now, information is power. And that could be our winning streak. So I'm throwing everything into it, right? I'm throwing everything into the open. So you are welcome to partner with Maiyegun on this. So we'll come back with episode 3, and that will be tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'm going to see you later this evening, right? Good afternoon.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Maiyegun Diary, Diary political.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.